And hello, everybody. It's so good to be back at the Women of Wisdom conference, and everything seems to be working for a change. Yay! And I've actually had some sleep, which is really nice. And I am joined with some fabulous people today. I'm going to start off, first of all, with beautiful Bella Laura. Our musical alchemist is here today, and she's here to provide a very important function for us. And Laura is going to help us, if need be, translate from Italian to English, and I'll explain why in a moment. The next person we have with us is one of my favorite people in the world, Thomas Joseph Brown, who happens to be one of the very smartest people I know in the whole world. And so when I have questions about things, I go to this man and I ask him, and I happen to ask him some questions about Egypt and past lives and magic. And he's like, girl, if you want to know about Egypt, past lives and magic, then you need to know about Athon, our lovely red-headed beauty in the corner here. Athon is the woman here that we're here to pay tribute today, because Athon has had the most extraordinary life. She is a woman of wisdom, of gnosis, of experience. She's hung out with some of the coolest people in the world, like Seti. She has her own whole past life remembrance thing. She's written incredible books like this one that is a tarot on Egyptian themes. She is an architect and an artist and a jewelry maker and just a mind-blowing person. So we are here to say hello and introduce Athon to the Western world of English-speaking people who might not have got to actually meet this incredible woman. So hello, my love. Athon, say hello, darling.
Hello, because I was not knowing that I had just to enter now.
That's all right, sweetie. That's why we're going to help you. And Athon has her baby crow in front of her there, so we might have a little hello from her baby crow. But the reason that do you want to show everybody your baby crow, darling?
It's not a crow. This is
this is a magpie.
It's a magpie. She's always with me, especially when I am on the computer. You can hear her saying hi to everybody.
Hello. All right, Thomas. Well, the reason I have Thomas is Thomas, as I said, he introduced me to Athon in the first place, and he's known Athon for a very, very long time. And in fact, I believe it was your wife that was it translated this one, darling, or was it another one that she translated?
No, they co-wrote it.
We made it together because I remember when it started, that Tom asked me to make a conference on tarot. And I say, no, I will not make a conference on tarot because I think this. And so he said, write a book. And I say, I cannot write a book in English. He said, no, you speak and Alison will write the book. And so I was speaking, making all the things, making all the image, all the divination gods and all this thing. And Alison was writing everything in good English. And so she was making the research, and we collaborate from, in the meantime, I went to Italy back, and Alison was in California, and we were connecting and working between for years. It lasted long years, all this work, because there was no internet, we're not having, not even the fax to send the things. So it was.
It takes a long time to write a book anyway, but with the translation, I've been working with Laura to translate your things for the magic show, and it is an undertaking, isn't it? It's very difficult to get the concepts transfer.
Yes. Very, very difficult.
Right. Well, Thomas, I'm going to hand it over to you, darling.
Okay, well, I'll say on there too, Ellison was a very deep esoteric researcher, writer. So working with Athon, it was just, I think it was a wonderful career. They worked from 1985. It was finally published in 1994 by Inner Traditions.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember the owner of US Games that published all the tarot decks. I can't think of his name right now, but I was talked to him about it. And he said, well, no, because there's not 78 cards. He said, I only publish 78 card tarot decks. I said, what about the Dakini Oracle deck, one of your most popular decks? He goes, yeah, I wouldn't publish it today. But anyway, we found Inner Traditions did it, and it's a marvelous, deep book. So they co-wrote the book, but Athon, as an artist, painted the cards. And this was really the most important part, if you could show some of those, Vanese. And that's just part of Athon. So Athon, I thought just to give people a better idea about where you're at.
Wow. I don't hear very well.
Okay, I'll speak slowly, but what I was hoping you could do is tell people about where you live in Calcutta in an old Etruscan cave and with the birds. Tell a bit about your life now, please.
Well, my life now is, if we have a wrong concept of what life should be, all the life will be just a mess. But life is just like an art invention, is an invention. And I try to invent my life every moment and following my dreams. I went in Calcutta here because of a dream that I had, that they showed me this place, and so I went here. And then I was just moving to Germany, but I had a dream in which 4 crows were coming down, making at the 4 corners, and don't let me go. And so I say, such a dream is very strange. Next day, the first crow come down from the roof, and then all the others. And so I could not bring my bird with me, and I stayed here. And I keep it writing books, painting, making sculpting, without going, not anymore around. Because I have all these little creatures that they bring to me, the one that are earth, the one that cannot fly, the one. And so I keep them, I raise them, and then the one that want to go, go, the one that want to stay, stay. I have the window always open, they go out in the day and then come back the night. Yes, right. Yes.
So you live in an old Etruscan cave, right?
Yeah, because Calcutta was a sacred place. It was a Faliscos. I Falisci, they were just very close with the Etruscans, the same things. And this was the place where they were making the oracles, the sacred place, because the city was in the mountains just around here. The temple were somewhere else. And this was the templum where they were making all the divination, with the bird main, because the Etruscans were very, they were observing the sky and to see what the birds were telling them. And so this is a very sacred place. And then from the Middle Age, this is a place of the relic of Jesus Christ, and was a place of pilgrimage. And it is still a place of pilgrimage because it's full of tourists now that come here. Because it's a very more place. Inside this place, we stay maybe 50 persons, very few persons. Just like a normal condominium in Rome or in other places, but is all us. And we are in the middle of national forest. Yeah, all the is a protected area with the river. Is a very old river. Oil boat. They are fighting. Really. They are fighting because I closed it. They cannot come in. Well, this is where I live, and I work here. And working with birds is very beautiful because I had to learn how to communicate without words, human words. But they know how to speak with human language. I had some crow that were talking, but more than in Italian, they were talking in old Egyptian.
Wow.
Because I sing to them, I sing the Egyptian words, I sing the pyramid text in Egyptian. And so they learn this. And when they had to say something, they talk in that kind of language. Wow. Because crow can talk.
Right. Well,
So
in
it's
alchemy,
just one adventure.
yeah, in alchemy, it's talked about the language of the birds. So
Yes.
you're really experiencing that.
Yeah, but to experience the language of the birds, you have to enter the dimension of mind in which they are. They are in totally silence of the mind. Sometime I say, let me go in their mind. Is absolute peace, absolute silence. And then there is a big spirit, because they are just like the antenna of the God. Just on earth, they bring the will of the God, of the gods, extraterrestrial, the superior entity, they bring this. And
yeah. So,
yeah.
well, thinking of the gods, like in the sense of the Egyptian netters,
Yes.
are they gods? Are they aspects of nature? How do you see the Egyptian netters?
They were extraterrestrial. Allora, do you remember, now you have the word to call them like the galactic assembly, things like that. But
right.
they were coming from all over. Osiris was coming from Orion. Isis was coming from Sirius. Hathor was coming from the Pleiades. Horus was coming from the sun. Ta was coming from, I have no idea from where, because nobody told from where. It comes from the the watery element thought. Thought also was pure knowledge thought, and also is a bird thought. As a bird was represented with the head of a bird, because is the first knowledge that is bringed by this creature from the sky. And this the total knowledge thought. It is invented the language, invented alchemy, invented everything, invented to bring it down from all higher dimension, bring it down to the third dimension, all this knowledge that was afterwards was given to the other, come si dice, passed Oh my God, what?
Dillo in italiano, dillo in
Laura, come si dice? Laura, è stato trasmesso poi agli umani sotto una forma che gli umani potessero comprendere.
Okay. So
It's
been communicated to the humans in a form that the humans could understand.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think
And so
there's-
the Neteru then, because they were very connected with nature, that because when they come here, they had to make all the things around for the being able to receive the higher dimension, making construction, making everything. And in the Egyptian tradition, there are 4 species of humans that were making by this Neteru. 4 different species, and they say all the gods that make it this kind of hybridation. So we are the seed of the star. So if the Neteru were from the star, we also are from the star because they make us. And so we must really remember this, that we are not apart from all these higher creatures, because they are just like our ancestors. Ecco. And then because the nature, they organized all the things in the world, they were just connected with nature, with the rivers and with everything, but they are different from the entity of the rivers, and they are various levels. The Neteru, they were very few very higher beings. The others, they were others entity because of the river, because of this, but they were just kind of, they were just other things. But Neteru, they are the galactic connection.
No, that's an amazing version of that. And I know because you studied Egyptology, some consider you an expert, but when you studied in Egypt, could you tell us what years were that? And also you connected with Seti. Could you tell us your connection with her, please?
Yes, I connected with her. She was my teacher, and she was giving also when I left her, she was giving me in dreams all the instructions, and she told me in some way to study the pyramid text. They are the oldest text, and so I started studying really all the hieroglyphic grammars and all these things. And so after 20 years of studies, I was able to translate the pyramid text. The one that I like better, they are the texts of Unas, because it's the most ancient one, is the oldest one. And they are incredible texts because they are just the calling from the Neteru, from the astronauts. Bring me this, and the keeper of the astronaut said, which ship I have to bring to you? And one of these say, bring me, fly and come back.
Right.
So,
Thomas, it's an amazing story. I don't know if people know who Seti is. So do you want to set that up for a little bit of context?
Yeah. Seti was in this incarnation an English woman that when she was few years old, she fell down from the stairs and died. And when the doctor came to certify her death, she went up and they found her alive again. But she said, I want to go back home. I want to go back home because this is not my house. This is not my house. I want to go home. And when she grew up a little bit more, one day they bring it in the British Museum where they are the Egyptian stuff. And she went nuts. She started saying, this is my house, this is my house. And the keeper of the British Museum, that was Vanese, became her teacher on Egyptian language. And so she studied with Vanese. And then she went to stay in Egypt for good. And she started because in her previous life, she was a priestess of Isis. And the pharaoh on that time was Seti the First, that being not so well in ethics, took this little woman that was 16 years old and make her to get pregnant. So and then he left because he was the king. He come and go, and so what happens? The priest of the temple saw this girl with the pregnancy, and they oblige her to keep her life, to commit suicide, because she didn't want to say which one was the father of her baby. And so when the pharaoh come back and they told that Bentoshit was dead, he went destroyed. But when he died, Seti the First, the company of the god that is in the Duat, it gave him a big pain, come si dice, he could not get back to Bentoshit until a long time, and he had to suffer on these years. And finally, when Seti, that her name was Seti, is a name that took after she had a baby, that she named it Seti, and the woman there, they cannot say anymore their own names because of magic, because if somebody speak the name of the mother of the person, it can be also make it to that giving. And so her name was Dorothy, but it was called Seti, the mother of Seti. And so when she came back to Egypt, finally, Seti the First was given permission to go visit her. And so every night he was coming down, taking his own bodily feature. It was coming in flesh and bones, down to, and was just united with Bentoshit. But it was too bad, too come si dice? It was too difficult to have all this coming down. There were techniques that he learned from his own when he was just a priest of the god Set. For this, his name was Seti. And so when he was coming down to earth, Dorothy, so it means Om Seti, agreed to give him the power to manifest himself. And so for this, even if she was not so old, at the age of 70 years, she was looking like 90 years, because all the energy she was giving almost every night to Seti in order to make him to come to this plane, third dimension. And so I met her, I went and I met her, and she was, she was, come si dice, expecting me in the door of her house. And we were very, very, I love it. I think was the person I loved more in my life from Seti, because she was incredible creature. She was knowing all the Egyptian magic. She was knowing all the, but not the Egyptian magic. She was knowing all the structure of the spirit, all the structure of how the world and the cosmos works. And so she told me just to get with the pyramid text, because in the pyramid text there are incredible, there is knowledge, but you must know what it means, the knowledge of the pyramid text, because it's not like the way we think is spirituality. In the pyramid test, there is the knowledge of the beings that they have already, they already had the light body. So means the cosmic power incarnated in some beings that they are able to cross the dimension, go up and go down and coming back and making incredible stuff. For this, they were called gods by the humans that they were making by them. And so this is Om Seti. Om Seti, unfortunately, now is away in the other dimension. I hope, I think he's still with Seti. At least unless they did come si dice, they will reincarnate it, I think, together and well, in better times. In better times.
I hope so, Athon. It's very interesting because we have already in this conference talked about Jesus and Mary, and how Mary used her energy to help Jesus come and manifest. So it's very interesting that you have the story of Seti helping Seti manifest and the energy that's required to do that. So that blows my mind, darling. That's such an amazing story. Thank you.
But the thing is just that the magic that Om Seti manifested is a very rational and come si dice, and very tested things. The things of Mary and Jesus, well, I don't think that nobody helped him to manifest. It just was by himself one extraterrestrial, or at least half extraterrestrial, and maybe his mother just helped him giving him birth, but I don't think nobody else helped him like
Seti. Yes.
Like Seti, because Seti was a normal person and it needed to somebody with higher wisdom to give him power. Jesus was, I think, a little bit up higher, didn't need anybody to give him some energy. I don't
Okay.
see you.
Okay, well, because your camera was going funny, but when we turn ours off, everything goes clear. So we're coming on and off. But now you were talking about the pyramid texts, and I just want to say, because for reference, well, I know because I read them long ago, and as I remember, it says something about Unas. Unas is not here. He went walking in the stars. But
Yes.
so you did a translation which has only been published in Italian so far.
Yes.
I remember many years ago when you were working on it, and I said, "Oh, here I've got pyramid text behind me." You said, "Which version?" I said, "Faulkner," and you're saying, "Throw it in the rubbish." So, you know, I think it'd be great so maybe you could tell us a little more about this, the walking in the stars and the connections and what wisdom the pyramid text can give to people today. Hopefully, if we can get an English edition of your book together.
Well, the thing is just that the pyramid text, they are just what the humans received from by hearing what they were saying, and so they written down with the hieroglyphic that they are all symbols, very, very, very powerful symbols, and they are concerned the most ancient, the most older. That they are concerned with with some phrases like you are not going up dead, but you go with your own body, you go alive in the other dimension. You can go and coming back alive. And then all the calling from the astronaut, and then all the use and use it of what Ra was doing, because Ra was not the sun. Ra was another of their netters, was a netter. The entity of the sun, it was called in another way, was called Athon, was called in, was a Ra is just like also in India, there is Rama, there is the Ravana, is a kind of name connected with this kind of energy, but the syllable Ra or Ru is more connected with the Rudra. Rudra is the one that scream always, the urlatore, and then they were they are the more violent and focus giving entity, and so this is, and then they are they are a lot of formulas to avoid and send away the dangerous creature, scorpions, snakes, people that want to hurt. Then there are formulas of transformation, of alchemical transformation of the poison into nectar to help the body to become health again. There are all these kind of energy. Daddy! And then there are also some, the text called Osirians, where they describe all the death of Osiris, but is something that is bringing down all the energy, because the ancient tradition of the Neteru was based on the goddess Sekhmet, on the body of light that was, that Osiris, always in the pyramid text. In several texts, they say, will not give you to Osiris, get away from Osiris, get away from this, get away from, because Osiris was a kind of not so good person, was not having the light body. The light body was given to him after, I think, after he died by Geb. And in the pyramid text, there is written, when Osiris was divinized by Geb. So in the hieroglyphic, there is right when to Osiris was given his light body. So he had, by virtue of Geb, that is the keeper of the earth, he was make a divine being, but was not in the beginning, because the giants coming from Orion, they were not so well, they were not having a good ethics. And so just also in the Bibles, the Nephilim, that they are the ones that were falling down from Orion, they were not so well behavior creature. And so, but anyway, there are also some of these texts, but in this Yunus texts, most of the things that they say, get away from Osiris, get away from him, because he's not such a good person.
You know what's interesting, Athon, is in our research, the question of ethics and morality comes up a lot, right? If
Yes.
you want to develop more consciousness, you need to have ethics and morality, and it's not a very important, it's not a very popular idea in our culture, but it seems that it's critical.
Yes, it's critical because, for example, in the Egyptian tradition, the basis is just Ma'at. Ma'at is the one that brings truth, justice, harmony, and law. So when a culture, all tradition is based on truth, justice, and harmony, of course, that is a higher ethics that most human of now, they don't even know what it means, because everyone is lying. From when a baby is little, that can at least talk, it starts saying lies. And then all the politics, all the things are based on lies. No one tell the truth. And in Egypt, the pharaoh, the king and the queen, they were the ones that they were obliged to be the truth in persona, personification of the truth and justice. I cannot see you.
Oh, because when our cameras are on, it makes your camera flash on and off. So we have to come on and off so we get a clear picture. But we're here, we hear everything.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so just also in the best, the good things is just that in the higher physics now, there is this great Italian scientist that is called
Ettore Majorana? Ettore Majorana.
That is called Majorana, that it seems that it took the teaching of Ma'at by the literal things, because he said in the beginning, the matter is only thought, is a thought form. And from the thought form, when it comes that was a certain point that is mathematical numbers, it starts the the construction of all the archetypes. But these archetypes come from the law given by Ma'at. And from these archetypes, then giving other kind of structural mathematics, and it brings us to this dimension. But from this dimension, it's possible to go to the other dimension, always following the law of Ma'at and the mathematical, that they are just much more of the quantum physics. Because Majorana make all this physical theory when he was very, very, very young, but he was very always guided by a superior spirit, and he was also in contact with extraterrestrial entities. But go and catch up about the machine that Majorana make it. That is a machine that can make all the transformation that we can need for to make this world again become a paradise. And
That's amazing, darling. That's amazing. Do you know of him, Thomas?
No, how do you spell his name?
I told you just already some time ago, I told you, go and look Ettore Majorana. Ettore Majorana is one of the greatest beings that now is more, he has more than, more than 100 years, and he was able to, maybe with the help of this extraterrestrial, to renew all his body, and he looked like a 30 years young person, and there are movies and films of him. And he made all this incredible machine by staying in a, come si dice, un convento, in a monastery. He disappeared when he was, I think, 34 years then. Disappeared, making not being found anymore because he didn't want to get involved with the war and with the atomic things. And he come out around in the year 2000, making himself again visible.
Ah, right.
And young,
Majorana, yes.
like a young, wonderful young person.
Ah, okay. I'll look
Because
more into that. Thank you.
it's a blow mind thing. The thing is just that I am, when I found out this, it is something that gives you the courage to be so mad like you want, but following what is the truth for you, for the person, because we must always go with the more highest intent. Now, there was this guy that you put it up.
What's that? That's his name. I put the name there in the chat for people.
Is Ettore Majorana.
Yeah. Okay, we've lost your video there, Athon.
What's interesting too is that when you look at the Taoist alchemy, they have, you know, energetic things that you do with your body, but to achieve that eternal youthfulness, again, the ideas of morals and living very morally and ethically is one of the aspects of being able to stay young and keep your body rejuvenated. So that does make sense to me, Athon.
Yeah, but it is not question only of, that's one of the things, but the technique and the practice in which Majorana is given by the extraterrestrials that they are present just now on Earth. And they are making incredible stuff because they are here. We call God once, but they are here. They are not gone all away. They are always somebody here. They are not all bad. They are the bad and they are the good. And the good are the ones that they are helping us to rise it up to other dimensions, to other quality of the spirit. Because in the Egyptian tradition, we must go and connect with the Sekhem. That the Sekhem is not given, is not given to everybody on the plan level. Is given to the person that make a discipline based on truth, justice, harmony, and then in a renovation of all the cell of the mind, body, and spirit, earning the light bodies, and so just is a complete discipline, and is not so easy to get on this planet, but they are they are people, they are entities, they are creatures that they are like or roots of the of everything we have of good in the art and in the mind. I have no words more because
no, that's good. That's beautiful, amazing. Well, you mentioned too a little bit about Eastern, so I thought maybe could you talk a little bit about, you spent a lot of time in India as well, so you have some deep understandings and that you can bring in. What can you share from that phase of your life? What can you share from your time in India? You work with some amazing gurus and
yes. Well, in India, I wanted just to go to India always. From when I was kid, I was always seeing this man of light that was always with me, telling me all the things, showing me the stuff. And so I was always, in my mind, there was, I want to become first architect, and then I want to go to India. And then when I get my PhD degree in architecture, I lived everything and I went to India. In India, I found all my masters. I found the master of my life before. I found the beautiful stuff. I found that I was very attracted when I was going in the temples. There were all these statues, the Murti, very powerful, and everybody was giving flowers to this Murti. And I say, I will not give flower to a statue. And so once I went to a temple, there was under steps to go up in the temples, and at the bottom they wanted to give me flowers to bring to the gods in the temples. I say, no way. I went up, and when I was up in the top, I felt like an ant that booted it, throw me down from the steps. I made all the steps. When I was down, I say, okay, give me some flowers, and I'll bring it to the statue. And then I realized how powerful they were, these statues. And so my master, my guru, after this, he said, you know you are a sculptress also. And I said, yes, I am a sculptress. And I want just to start to know why these statues are so powerful. And so I say, so I make some. And so I start making the statues of the masters, of the people that I liked the teaching about what they were not available on the flesh level, because I start making making this statue that they are alive. They were alive. The materials in which I was making this stuff was putting themselves in the place, and they were amazing, because I made these statues that they are able to receive the energy of the soul of the person that they are. This is one I made. This was the master, my nonno, but
Yeah, I got a couple of pictures to show of a couple of them, because they look like they are alive.
oh, they are. I'll tell you one thing that is very beautiful. Allora, I had a dream years ago, that I was going to the tomb of a higher initiate that was the master of my previous life, my master. And when I was reaching this tomb, they told me to put my hand in the foot of the person. And from the foot, start a flash of energy that showered me, boom, 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 like this. I wake up from the dreams. And when I was in India, my master said, my guru say, okay, I am going to this place, going to you come? I say, okay, I'll come. And when I was there, that was the place I had in my dreams. So I made the same thing. I went and I put my hand in the foot of the tombs, and a flash of energy come shaking me for 15 minutes. And afterwards, I make his statues. But these statues, I make him sitting, giving blessing with the left hand. Then what happens? All the Indians come screaming to my guru. Your Chitrareka is making the left hand of Sai Baba. The left hand is the hand of the devils. The right hand must be the one that gives blessing. So my guru went to me and say, listen, you cannot leave this left hand giving like this. You must make the right hand up. I say, Baba, is not possible. The statues I made, I made the skeleton on wire and ferro, wire, big wire. I made all the skeleton, and then there were all the cement, and it was very hard, very, you cannot just. And when I say, Baba, is not possible, because this is a alive status, and I cannot, come si dice, make it, kill a dim just making with the saw the thing. He said, no,
Change.
you don't have this. You must just only take the hand and put it down. I say that is impossible. He went away, and I say, I took the left hand and I put it down, and I put the right hand and I put it up. And it was moving like a man, like a person. It was so alive, the statues, that was responding to all the movement I was making into. It was wire and cement, but statues that were twice my tall, twice of me. They are very, very big. And
Right.
so this was all the things, and I made almost 20 of these alive statues.
Wow.
Or in India, in the United States. I have some here in my cave with me. I made my gods. I made also.
Right. I have some pictures of the Egyptian statues.
I don't know if you have it.
Yeah, I got a couple pictures. Is this in your cave?
Yes. Yes.
Just in case people missed that, I just want to reiterate that what Athon was just saying is that she'd made these statues with cement, right? You can't bend cement, you can't change it. But these statues were so alive that they literally were able, despite the cement, were able to move their arms up and down as she requested. And it's just absolutely mind-blowing to me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And let's see. I'll put up a couple here. I think I'll come from here. So here's some primordials that you made.
Yeah, this is my frog. They are the the Egyptian. They say the 8 primordials, the 8 very, very old entity. They were frogs and snake, and so I made my 8 frogs and snakes entity.
Yeah. I remember seeing this one in your cave.
Yeah, this is Nate. I didn't finish. I just only left only the head because I don't have any more to make all this space to make all these statues that they are big from the floor from to the roof. If I
Right.
make another statue, I cannot take anymore my space for myself.
That looks incredible. That really looks like the eyes in particular look just like they did in ancient Egypt. That's amazing, Athon.
Oh, you mean for this one here? It looks so alive.
This is Athor. In the other side, there is because Athor comes from the Pleiades, from the Taurus.
Right.
And there is a test of the pyramid, very beautiful, in which they say that there is identification with the nether, and say, because I am this eyes of yours, that is in the horn of Hathor, that turn back the time from you, and you spend the night and become younger every day. And because in the Pleiades is in the pyramid test, there is this point where maybe a black hole we can call now, where the time goes back, is inverted. And so just
That's amazing, Athon. That's like the ancient Egyptian beauty secrets. I love it.
Yeah, this is my Hathor.
Yeah, so that was one side, the two sides, and the other side.
Yeah, there is the fortune here. You have the statue.
Yeah.
No, you cannot find.
Which one?
Fortuna.
Fortuna, the one that you had before.
Fortuna. This
is the one with the lion. The lion. Yes.
Because they are very small here. I don't. No, but I now I made the red head because I was making a green habit, but needed a red one, so I painted red.
You made a red hair.
No, the dress red.
Oh, the breasts are red, right?
The dress red, yes.
Yeah. So let's see what other, I have some other statues here. I can only get a few good pictures. I thought I had
these
more here, but
are big, are just twice of
yeah,
me. Allora, maybe.
Yeah.
This is Serket, the scorpion goddess.
uh-huh. Right, with the scorpion head.
Yeah, this is the transformation. It's the one that transforms poison into nectar. The transformation of all the elements.
Mm-hmm.
But these are just, it's gold. All the flesh is gold.
Right, they're all
24
gold,
karat. Huh?
gold leaf. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly. These are all covered with gold leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful statues. And to see them in person, they do look alive. They are so amazing. Yeah, I thought I had more of the statues, but apparently I don't.
No.
See,
No.
you have the dragon there, though. Let's go to the dragon, darling.
All right, yeah, let's look at some of the paintings here. And at first, we'll look at this one. This is from your Book of the Dragon, right?
Let me see. Yes, but it's 13 meters. This is in an exhibit that I had at the castle here at the in Calcutta.
So this is from your Book of the Dragon, right? This is about
yes.
This is a city that walks the earth. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. This is something that I see. I saw one night years and years ago. I start seeing all these creatures that was flying over Rome and over the planet. And the things was, I saw one astronaut, a mother astronaut, but I didn't know that what it was. But I start painting all the things that I saw, piece by piece, and I made also my, come si dice la laurea in architettura? Laura?
Yes, I'm here. Si dice, sorry, I'm studying to talk in Italian. It's architecture degree in architecture.
Yeah, and I make the astronaut make for the architectural degree, and all the professors, they were just grow up with the mind. Because I made an astronaut, a city that was working and was making all the transformation on all the things that they are in the world. They were all the kind of hyperbaric structures in which the person were going inside and when transformed, depending on the level and in which part of the dragon they were staying, until they went very purified in the head, where there is the main place of control of everything, and it's possible to create universe, and everything is needed to be created in the cosmos by the will of the person. And these are just the tail means well, that they are all these bodies that they are made by resonance with the hieroglyphics, because these are the R, is called the mouth of Ra, the place where it comes the sound of creation. But all these hieroglyphs are just based on the golden proportion and in the come si dice?
On the golden ratio.
in the golden ratio. They are all golden ratio. That everything is just a fractal from the smallest to the biggest one. Also our body is based on golden ratio, and so we resonate with this. This is the all these bodies are given a name. I give a name, just the three elements of alchemy, then the four elements, and then the ether. And then there is the tail, that is the place where they are all the transformation of the 12 more poisons of the earth of this level. And so it's just, or by similitude also, because every structure I made be similar to the animals and the plants that are connected with it, with that element. This is another piece of things where there were just this connection by the from Earth, planets, and structural. And this is me.
We recognized you. Let's see. Yeah, just some of your other art. But I did find this statue here. This is the one I was looking for.
This is the because I was making also the 22 arcans of the tarot in painting. This I made the Virgin Mary. This is in it was destroyed by that by is no more. They destroyed this. This was 3.5 meters tall. It was the Virgin Mary.
Yeah,
And
beautiful.
and because he wanted me to make this statue in 20 days, I made the statue making like this, like fuck you, no?
Yeah.
And I made naked. After 20 days. Baba come and say, well, but it's naked. And I say, well, in 20 days you want also me. I make also the rest. I cannot make it in 20 days the rest. And so I say, hey, take your time.
Who did Athon say destroyed this one, darling? I didn't catch that. Or Laura, do you know?
No, Athon, perché hanno distrutto quella statua? Why did they destroy that statue?
Hanno distrutto quella statua perché lui mi aveva detto, perché non fai il tuo autoritratto? E allora io ho fatto il mio autoritratto. Però quando poi ho scoperto tutta una serie di cose e ho litigato con il capo, loro hanno preso una cosa di cemento e hanno coperto tutta la statua col cemento.
Wow, ok.
Capito? Io però sono tornata qui e mi sono rifatta la statua, me la sono rifatta questa qui, la fortuna me la sono rifatta.
Quindi quella era was it the Virgin Mary, but it was also the goddess Fortuna, the goddess of luck.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was the Virgin Mary, but it was also the goddess Fortuna.
No, the goddess Fortuna I made here for me.
Okay, okay. So
but I made it just here
like
for me.
Yeah, this one looks like a photograph of a living human, doesn't it?
This is an amazing creature. It was called Arigiri Baba. I loved him. Just he was able to do all the more incredible stuff. He transformed himself when he died in a big cobra, and he went away. And when I was making his statue, this big cobra, maybe was 4 meters, was coming to me, and he was making all jumps. And
wow. That was probably him visiting.
Amazing was Arigiri.
Yeah, I wanted to show a couple of your doors cards.
This is Athon. Athon,
Yeah,
the
just-
one that is in the middle of nowhere, in the more dark situation, and it come out.
Yeah,
Mehur,
Athon is the one that came into life by uttering his own name, isn't it, Athon?
what?
Athon is the god that came to life by uttering his own name, isn't it?
No, maybe pronouncing is his own name, because in the name there are all the energy of the person, and so if you pronounce the name of the person, you have the person coming alive, but the name must be the real name, not the name that we have just. Is a vibration that make all our structure, body, mind, and spirit being what it is, and is a secret name. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
Neith, this is
vibration.
yeah, we saw the head of Neith that you made. This is the card for her, the weaver.
Yes. The head is much more. Is more beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I just wanted to show people that are watching just to see some of these, so they can go and buy them on Amazon or wherever they can
Yeah.
get these cards and work with them.
But it's not the tarot. They are not tarot. They are the gods of the Egyptian pantheon, in the order of the alchemical transformation, like the emerald tablet, what is above is like what is below, and all these kind of things. And so I make them 8 by 8 is a magical square of 8 by 8. 64 is a number much 64 are the I Ching, the 3 grams of I Ching. 64 were just the gods of the Etruscan. 64 were the books that Thoth make. 64 are the 64 tantras. 64 is just a number that is in all the tradition is present, because
Right.
is a square 8 by 8. Because 8 is the number of law, of Ma'at, justice and verita, truth and justice. And
Right.
we must achieve truth and justice just in this planet.
We have a lot of work. Well, there's also 64 codons in the DNA
Yes. Yes.
and the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching.
Yeah, what I say, I Ching.
Yeah. Oh, you said that. Yeah. Yeah. So many, but yeah, you're talking about as above, so below. We've mentioned that. So
Yes.
how can people, from your perspective, I mean, you could talk about maybe how you bring this into your art. How can people bring this into their life? You know, people that are watching this that want to learn and understand, how can people take this Hermetic principle and make it work for them?
Hey.
That's a big question.
It's just come si dice, a journey with himself. Everybody must, it's like to go and take a train or an airplane. You must know where to go to take a plane. Not that you can take any plane. If you know which one is the things you want to achieve with yourself, then you build up the willpower to make it. And the willpower, it must be based on this truth, justice, and harmony. that they are the basis of all the cosmos, all the creation, and all of ourselves. And so when somebody start not telling any more lies, being in justice and finding harmony in themselves and in bringing harmony and love around, and then little by little the life will change.
Yeah.
And not eating to McDonald's, not eating chips and fish.
Yeah. Yeah, I put pictures back up because we're having trouble with the cameras of flashing on and off. So I'll leave some pictures up for people to watch while we talk.
Yeah, this is Neill.
Yeah. So you're saying it right. Well, one of the things is don't eat animals, correct?
Don't eat animals. Absolutely. The first thing is just to be absolutely respectful of the life of all the creatures, because we don't know what is the consciousness of all the other animals. We think we are the best, but we are just like little ants in respect of all the other beings that are in the universe. And so if we eat or we kill a little animal, a fish, a cow that is not so little but is amazing, we make ourselves being given the same sort we give to the animals. And so it's not for the, if somebody doesn't do a right eating because of the love of animals, he must at least have love for himself, because if you eat something that is dead, you bring death inside your body. You bring fears inside your bodies, inside your mind.
So you would include fish in that?
Oh, fish are very intelligent creatures.
Yes, I know.
Fish are very intelligent. We don't know how much are incredible and beautiful all the life that we are in the water, in the air, or in the other things, because we give it for granted that we can kill everybody. We can kill also people, just make wars for nothing, just for to give money to the come si chiama, industry of the weapons. People is uses to that, uses to war. We must get out of these things. In Egypt, there were no entity given to war. There was just sect that was kind of the opposers, but they were not having a god of war. There was some entity that was one that was defending. If somebody was coming, they were able to defend themselves, but they were not attacking by attacking, like in the Bible. They say, go, take that earth, that's yours. No, it's not yours. The Egyptians were having a place that was linked by the stars that were in the sky. And you cannot move the star in the sky to move the boundary of your nations. And so they were expecting, because they were expecting the stars, they were expecting the people of the stars, they were expecting the earth, and they were expecting also the persons that were in the earth. And the persons that are in the earth and in the water are birds, humans, dogs, cows, fishes. And maybe
well, I put up a picture from one of my presentations because I found this fascinating. Fish recorded singing dawn chorus on reefs, just like birds. So
I
The
don't
fish.
see what you put.
And the monkeys too, darling. The monkeys in Egypt, they have the statues of Geb going crazy for the dawn chorus. And so that's a known thing as well.
Yeah,
What?
so
Okay,
the
Anthon,
fish-
I'm sorry, I'll just switch to Italian, it's probably easier.
sure.
Molti animali, Athon, hanno questa caratteristica di fare dei canti particolari quando il sole sorge. E quindi hanno
Sì,
registrato-
difatti,
Speak in English now.
le scimmie anche, tant'è vero che Tot aveva sia l'ibis che le scimmie, perché le scimmie pare che cantassero il sole sorgeva. E allora
Monkeys too in Egypt
Yeah.
were known to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So right, that's why I see like the fish are like the birds of the sea, right? That's the water element. That's
Yeah.
how the intelligence and the beings represent. So yeah. Okay,
But-
yeah, I just wanted to bring that in because I think it's very important to look at the world in that bigger. I'm just leaving this up because the cameras are flashing on and off, so I'm making it easy for the people watching.
Mm.
You probably can't see from your side, but the camera's going crazy. So just we'll leave pictures up while we talk. Yeah, as much as fun, although it seems to have stabilized for a bit, so maybe we'll try to come back to here. Yeah, it's just every now and then its screen starts going green and flashing lines. It's hard to watch. The internet. Yeah,
Thomas, can I
computers.
just interrupt for a second? There's somebody has a question for Athon, and since we
Yeah.
were talking about animals and eating animals, darling, what did the ancient Egyptians eat?
Well, the priest and the initiated, they were vegetarians. But you know, otherwise they were eating also animals. But as for this, that is the culture and the tradition died and end because they accumulated little by little, that over that, and something finished. To put, you can just have as a come si dice, a counterpart in India that they are maybe 5,000, 6,000 years that they are just always alive as a culture, but they don't need no fish, no animals. Just as a culture, they don't need animals, and they are very, very healthy. It's not, they are not suffering from disease because they don't eat fish or meat, no. And so just you must take also. We talk about the Egyptian tradition, but can you hear? I don't hear. I don't see anything.
Yes,
Sweetie,
Sorry.
Laura, will
Yes,
you
yes.
explain? Will you explain in Italian to Athon?
Yes. Allora, Athon, quello che sta succedendo è che il tuo video, purtroppo, evidentemente c'è una linea che non è molto buona, quindi se noi abbiamo tutti i nostri video che tu ci puoi vedere, tutti i microfoni aperti, il tuo video va completamente a carte 48. Quindi stiamo tenendo i nostri video
Però mi
spenti.
sentite?
Ti sentiamo e ti vediamo, tutto ok?
Ah, va bene.
Ok, all good, thank you.
Ah. Allora, the question? I say.
Okay, the question is,
the Egyptians were just like the final things of a big culture that was the one in Atlantis. And so when the Atlantis went down under the water or destroyed, the ones that they were just gone to Egypt, to other places on the world, they were not having all the knowledge and the structure and the technology to produce again the same quality of the culture. So it went little by little, just like, come si dice, losing all the quality of the beginning. They were not, something that it was a reality 10,000 years before in the Egyptian tradition was only a remembering, and they were trying to copy the things that they were done once, but they were not able to have all the technology and the cultural stuff and the kind of spiritual level that they were having the ancestor in Atlantis. Okay, so when we talk of Egypt, like wow, so good things, it's just nothing compared to what it was once, the real culture. Okay.
Okay, Athon, I'll speak to you in Italian first, but if you can please answer in English this one. Ci sono delle domande dagli ascoltatori che vorrebbero sapere se gli egiziani mangiavano uova, per esempio.
Sì, penso di sì.
Sì? Okay,
Sì.
yes, they used to, yes, they did eat eggs, definitely. Okay, including fish eggs. Yeah, I think that's about it about the animals. Okay, thank you. I'll
So one of Lara, Amy is asking specifically what kind of things besides fruit and veggies did they eat?
okay.
Oh, they were eating like lotus bulbs, come si dice? They were making bread with the lotus potatoes. The flour was having the bulbs. They were eating grain. They were drinking beer. They were drinking a lot of wine. But they were eating dates. They were making sweet things with dates. But they were also eating animals badly, and then but they were also making all the mummies and the mummification that bring the land to be just a cemetery and being finished.
Yeah, I'm not
Yes.
sure if it was clear before, but basically Athon said before that the big difference between, for example, the Egyptian culture and the Indian culture is that in the Egyptian culture, only the priests and the anointed ones were vegetarian, whereas the rest of the population were basically eating flesh, eating dead animals. Whereas in India, the whole population is vegetarian. So that
Yes.
that makes in
A big difference. A big difference.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lara. That makes a lot of sense. And it seems like the eating of the flesh started the degradation of the society. But Athon, Jafer wants to ask, was the idea of not eating flesh due to the idea of a particular function of that flesh? So they wouldn't eat birds because birds are related to spirit, for example. How would I explain that, Thomas?
No, for the life is not being in any form. Life have not to be taken.
Okay, darling. So just any life. Just do not eat life. Don't worry about the function. It's just life is the important thing.
Yes.
So speaking of life and death, one of the things I would love to get your view on, mummification. What was the story with mummification and all those great, like the Valley of the Kings? What magic was behind that?
Allora, like I said before, all the Egyptian culture is just the end of a great culture. It's just what it remains of the remembering of what it was once Atlantis. And I think that the mummification come out from the costumes that they were having in mummifying Osiris. But Osiris was putting in this kind of mummification thing in order to be resurrected. But after he was resurrected, because he didn't behave properly, he was not being granted to stay again on life on this planet, but was sent to the the world of the dead. So the mummification was a remembering of the techniques that they were having, this extraterrestrial creature, to making kind of a mold of the dead body in order to have the time to being resurrected in some other time. And so in the mummification, the things that they were thinking is that they were, the mummification was enabling the three inferior bodies, the body of flesh, the body of Ka, and the body of the shadow, to be together and to stay there like a crystallized cocoons, in order that the soul, the body was no. One moment, I have just to send in order that the body could go free for 3,000 years, and then at will coming back, bringing all the memory, putting in the mummies, and become full of the knowledge that was inserted in the mummy. This was the mummification. But was a remembering of the things that it was doing by Osiris. Hello?
So so it was a degeneration of that more ancient culture.
I had just a moment just to leave.
That's okay. Your
We've
family.
got a little bird problem at the moment, but they usually, the birds around, they are usually very, very jealous if Athon is talking to someone else. So that's why they are probably walking a lot.
Eccomi.
Yeah.
Here you are.
I had to open the door, so he went away.
Ah, right. That's great. So what do you think now that archaeologists, they dig up all these mummies, put
They
them
are
on
all
display?
horrible creatures, because they go and dig up things that it's like to go in old cemetery and taking out all the dead bodies. What do you think they are? They take all necrophiles, and then now they are archaeologists. What they are archaeologists? They are
They're grave robbers.
robbers. They are, because they spoiled all the dead body of all the amulets and all the things. Then they make museums to put all the dead bodies there. It's horrible.
Right. Yeah, in Chicago, where I'm from originally, in the Field Museum, they have the screaming mummy. There's a mummy that screams, and it used to fall over. They had to tie it onto its stand because it wouldn't stay still.
No, sul serio. What do you?
I'm not saying in museum in Chicago.
But
the mummy would scream and fall over. They had to tie it onto the stand so it wouldn't move.
Really?
Yeah, it's famous. You can look it up. I've seen it many times.
Oh my God.
And one time I was in the museum there, the Egyptian section, And somebody was making Egyptian symbols in oil on the glass outside, maybe to pray for it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
No,
so
they are horrible things. They don't have to touch the mummies. Horrible
No,
things.
Amy wants to know, Athon, do you know where the Hall of Records is in the Sphinx? Or if it
What?
really is in the Sphinx? The Hall of Records. Do you know where the Hall of Records might
Yeah.
actually be?
Mm. Oh, every temple was having the Hall of Records. Also, Seti once fell down in Abydos, down in some place where, well, when she was going around, and she found this Hall of Records, all full of books and things, and then she went out, but it was impossible to found again where it was this place.
That's amazing. So she found it. Sorry, darling, go ahead.
Was that around Abydos where she lived?
Yes, in Abydos. Because she went to Abydos, and she was the one that, because she was remembering everything that was once Abydos, because she was there, priestess in the temple there. And so she made all the things to me remade like it was once. So he made also to put the roof on the temple. It was without roof at that time. And so she was remembering everything that was once there. But nobody else was able to find what she was.
So, Athon, was there one more important Hall of Records, or basically you're saying every temple had its own Hall of Records, like I guess every church does today? So it was just part of the temple complex.
No, I don't understand what you say.
I'm just saying, was there one big, more famous Hall of Records?
C'è una Hall of Records che è più famosa delle altre, Athon.
Sono solo dicerie di chi pensa che ci siano le cose più famose sotto la Sfinge o sotto la piramide. Io nelle mie visioni ho visto che ce n'è una grossa sotto la piramide, quella la più grossa.
Okay, apparently there is the biggest one is under the pyramid.
But every temple was having because any temple was made by a constellation or a god coming from a constellation, and there were all the memory and all the knowledge of the place of origin of the star. For example, in Dendera, that was the place of the Hathor, so means the Pleiades. They are all the memory and all the knowledge of that kind of knowledge that the Pleiadians were having. And so any temple was having all the memory and all the knowledge of the original place of this nether was coming.
That's amazing, darling. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Athon, Amy also wants to know, what is a good resource to find more about the true teachings of ancient Egypt?
Laura, puoi dirmelo meglio?
Sì, ci sono dei libri particolari che puoi suggerire per capire quali siano veramente i veri insegnamenti degli egiziani. Ci sono dei buoni libri o dei buoni testi.
Guarda. Sono tutti molto falsati. Schwaller de Lubis è tutto sul cristianesimo, poi tutto basato sul rapporto con i templi che sono l'uomo. Non c'entra niente. il tempio di Luxor con la forma umana. Erano solo basati sui rapporti stellari, were all based on stellar proportions.
Okay.
Nothing with humans. And then they are just the French archaeologists, the French diciamo, Egyptologists are the more the one that I know, just Christian Jacques. There is, oh my God, aspetta, devo mettere l'uccellino che Christian Jacques, then you can, no.
Okay, as Athon is trying to fix bird, she started saying that most texts, most books are actually not very factual, because they are all being written through the lenses of something else. So many books have been written through the lenses of Christianity, for example. So she was saying that basically this French Egyptologist is probably the most reliable.
There is Boris de Racqueville, the books of Boris de Racqueville. This is an Italian one. It was a friend of mine, was was also connected with the French school, with the French line, and is was very good. Then, well, you can just read whatever it is, just getting all the information that anyone can give, and then you can select what for you is good, because now I don't have all the name of the authors, because sometimes I get some books from the French Institute that is in Cairo, but they are all written, they are all the things of the hieroglyphs. And so just, I don't think everybody can take these 30 tables of written in hieroglyphs and getting something out.
Yes, one thing that you were saying the other day, which I think it's really, really important for this, is that basically when you have a book, for example, your book has been written in Italian, so you spend a huge amount of time to find the right translation, the right meaning for a particular hieroglyph. And it is not possible to take that book, for example, and translate it straight away into English or French or Russian. You actually have to do the translation directly from Egyptian into the new language.
Yes. Yes.
So if we want to see a translation of the pyramid text, that's a big job, right?
It's a big job.
Yeah, I still pray maybe happen someday.
It's better you read Faulkner in the meantime. You read,
I read it long ago.
And then you get the 1,000 pages of all written in hieroglyphic, the Sete, Kurt Sete, that was a German guy. They spent, I don't know, many years writing down all the hieroglyphic from the 6 pyramids. And then you can make it, you start reading hieroglyphics, because hieroglyphics are the doors from the other frequency. And so when you study hieroglyphic, your mind starts like a computer. It's just different to tick, 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 tick. And every tasto, every button you push, it gives you a different vision from the bottom next to it. So any hieroglyphic open some part of the brain and connect with some waves that they are in the ether, because like we have all the cellular things, no, or the computers. Everything is in the waves of the ether, and then we have this little machine that permitted to capture this energy. Is a magic. Is a magic. And then hieroglyphic are this magic, are just like our computers that permit us to connect with something that we cannot see, but then we can see it in our dimension. And so these are the hieroglyphics, because they are images. The image, it speaks without language. If you see a dog written, a papera, or a chicken, or a falcon, you don't need to know the name, because that falcon, it connect to you and give you the message straight from the falcon energy. So these are the hieroglyphics. They give you knowledge without saying words, and then they are translated into words, but that's another thing again.
Right, understandable. So I wanted to show another picture of yours, which is one of my favorite pictures that I've used in several
It's
several
possible
talks
for
on.
me to see a moment, because I see only white in the computer mind.
Oh, okay. Well, what it is, it's the picture of your ether atom.
Ah, yeah.
Which I think you told me this is how light weaves
Yeah,
matter together.
how from light, it come matter, come the creation from the light, but it's not light like we see the light. Is the photons, is just the energy of the light. Is the energy of the antimatters. Is the energy beyond the light.
Right.
And there are three components that come together to make one thing. And this was showing to me by one of these, my masters, my entity that were coming.
Right. And well, we could think of it, because the modern science, when they look at like the protons in the nucleus,
yeah,
they see three quarks. They see it as three as well.
Yeah.
I like your version better, much more beautiful. And I found another picture I wanted to put up, which is your coming forth by day, which is the 64th Doors card.
Yeah.
And partly because the camera is going a little funny, and so it's, I think, hard for people to watch unless it's a stable picture. But this is also one of my favorite pictures, because it represents, rebirth, coming forth. So
Yeah,
in the Book of Doors, in the Book of Doors, you go through from the primordials on the first level through the different levels of gods. And the last 8 cards are the path of Amenta that we go through, and then this is the final card, coming forth.
Coming through. It is the same snake that become a boat, and it come out and it bring you to life again.
Right.
It's the same dark energy that bring you to life again.
Yeah,
That's the 64 cards.
I think a lot of people need to come forth by day again out of the darkness of our modern world. In many ways. So how do you see Amenta? Is Amenta something that the souls go in and pass through, hearts weighed, just like the Tibetan Book of the Dead, where you interact with the archetypes? How do you see that?
Well, Amenta is a real place. is the place where it was going Seti, for example, no? Seti first. It was going to, it was to Amen. It's a real place where there are all these spirit of the entity. There is Osiris is one of the head of the Amenta, for example, no? And is a place where the spirit go if is not able to go to the other place. Is the place where go the normal person. Is not the place where they go the adepts of the initiated at the higher level of the spirit, because them go to in the pyramid test they say to, or they go without dying in other dimension and able to come and go, or otherwise go to the the star of the North Pole. So means to the what's called the dragon constellation.
Polaris is the North Pole. We have a question here. Someone's asking, what are the star travelers in ancient Egypt? What's your understanding of the star travelers? Well, we've frozen up here.
Athon, ci sei?
I think Athon is frozen. We'll see if she comes back.
She must have gone start traveling.
I know. You know, Ekaterina, I'll just give you some information on that. Gary Osborne has an entire book called, I think, The Shining Ones on this subject. And Gary, we hold in very high esteem, as you know. And so I would have a look at Gary's work. I think there's even a PDF of it online, but it's called The Shining Ones. So perhaps we've lost Athon.
Yeah, she dropped out. That was pretty amazing. We got 2 hours because, as we mentioned, she's living in an ancient Etruscan cave. And the story is Calcutta, Calcata, it's north of Rome, about 45-minute drive with no traffic. And it was ancient Etruscan sacred place. And there was a medieval village built on it, over it. So there's, the classic old, 14th, 15th century buildings there. And basically somewhere under the realm of Mussolini, because of this whole earthquake thing, and they were giving loans out, fascist loans, the town all took money and went and built a new town, New Calcutta, and they abandoned it. And in the 1960s, a group of artists went and re-inhabited it. And Athon was one of those people. So she took over these 2 old Etruscan, like, oracle caves. One of them is where she lives, and the other one is her studio. And it's just a fantastic place. I mean, there's always been internet problems on and off there. You can't even drive there. You have to walk in. You have to cross a bridge because it used to be an island in the old days.
Oh, I had no idea. Really? That's crazy.
Oh, it's a beautiful place. Yeah, no, I spent about a month there some years back. And I'm amazed I hadn't made it back yet, because just the feeling, and it's all artists. So, during the day, especially weekends, because all the tourists go there and they all make their money selling art. And Athon is like this wise woman from ancient times that lives in her caves with the birds. It's just such a magical place. And Athon is truly perhaps the most magical human being or soul living in a human body that I've met in this incarnation.
And that's, I mean, that's saying a lot. I mean, that's when you said that to me, that absolutely blew my mind too, Thomas. You know what I mean? The fact that she has these recollections from her past life, the fact that she is so accomplished in this life and has such an understanding. And, I mean, just even down to the birds, when she actually starts telling you the stories of the birds, I mean, each one has its own little life story. It's just mind blowing,
Right. And when I said, it's not a job, it's her dharma. I mean, I've been there, living there. She basically spends all day cleaning up after the birds. I mean, because you know what birds do. And they're on her, she's got this beautiful statue of Fortuna, but she has it covered with towels because birds live on it, right? And, and I asked her, I said, what would this thing be worth on the art market? She says, oh, at least €500,000. She says, but it's not for sale. I gave it to the birds. And she doesn't really want to sell her art. She doesn't make much. So, she just likes living in her cave. And she has students, so she teaches esoteric subjects. As you can see, she's great wisdom of many subjects. It's hard because I think she did very well 2 hours of English as well.
I know it's a big undertaking, isn't it? Darling, apparently she's trying to come back on, but I think if we do, we'll just thank her and say goodbye as if we can get her back, because we have been actually on, as you said, almost for 2 hours, but I'm not sure if she's having a hiccup. Laura's been talking to her in the background.
Yeah. It'd be great to get her back on to thank her for
everything.
All of her, for everything. She's been a wonderful influence in my life and a dear friend that I always appreciate talking to.
And I'm so,
as you can see, just magic flows when you talk to her. Just it's, what incredible people we meet in life, and
we've only really scratched
wisdom.
the surface, right? I mean, like, it's in the conversations that I've had with her since you introduced us, every single one has been just absolutely fascinating on topics that are just so incredibly diverse. It's she's just a wealth of information and wisdom and knowledge, it's just, and she's so talented as well. I'll put my camera back on since we're not running into that problem anymore. There we go.
Well, I can probably do the stop share then. Yeah, as we as you can see, these statues are alive. The pictures look like pictures of humans. So,
well, what's interesting is that in ancient Egypt, I mean, the tradition is such that the statues were repositories for the soul of the person who had gone. And so apparently they would enter back into these statues and people could interact with them. So given that she had a life in ancient Egypt, the idea that she'd be able to do that in this life is not that, crazy of a consideration.
Oh, no, a talent like that flows through many lifetimes, without a doubt. And I mean, we never even talked about where our previous connections were, but we felt it right away. And I never knew past life things. Somebody tried to hypnotize me once to see, and it didn't go anywhere. I was unable to be hypnotized. A lot of people tried for whatever reasons. But I've always felt that I was probably a librarian at a monastery in Tibet. That's always been my impression. I'm just such a naturally drawn to that realm. And but I also had the strong Egyptian connection, which was actually original when I was young. I say I had the Egyptian Book of the Dead. When I was about 10 years old, I got the transliterated nice Dover edition and did all I could to study that and learn the way through Amenta. And I was like, I wanted to know how am I getting through this? So, and I think that's what good if people could get like Athon's Book of Doors, and you can use it as a divination oracle, but it's also, if you just lay the cards out, it's a 64 cards, and then there's a 65th card, the netter, the unnumbered card. And that in itself is the ancient Egyptian alchemical system. It's a reconstruction based on the 8x8 matrix. And that's what the book is about, which she wrote with my late wife, Allison, all those many years ago. So I would say that's what she has in English. So
I know it's such a pity, Laura, because Laura, well, first of all, just this is a really interesting side note. So you introduced me to Athon, and I was talking to Athon, and I've interviewed her for the magic show for Magical Egypt, but we did it in Italian just because we wanted it to be, fluent and true to her meaning. And so I brought in Laura, and Athon's like, oh my, I've known both of you two in a past life, that the three of us were together in Dendera, as priestesses of Hathor. And it apparently, oh, here she is. She's back. Woohoo! Hello,
great.
darling. I'm sure it'll take a minute for her to put a camera back on, but yeah, but that was really interesting to us. And that's why I kind of asked that other question earlier. But so we were all together in a past life, which is very, very cool. Let's see
Yeah.
where she is.
Ecco, adesso vi vedo.
There you are. We can hear
Hey.
you now, darling.
Ecco, aspetta, metto giù il telefono. My God. Ah, ecco.
Good,
Eccomi.
you're back.
We're back,
Great.
baby. Oh, Athon, we're just telling stories about you while you were gone, because we both have such amazing stories of you. But
Telling a bit more about Calcutta, the amazing village.
Athon, vuoi provare ad accendere la tua telecamera perché non ti vediamo?
Com'è? Aspetta, ecco qui.
there we go.
There
Mi
you are.
Hey.
Eccoci.
Now we can
Vanese,
see.
sei più bella da quando stai nella oh my God, parlo in italiano. When I am too happy, I speak in Italian.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're happy.
You are more beautiful from when from the by now that you are in
I have
there.
makeup. I don't normally wear makeup, darling, but because I'm talking to you, I put makeup today. But thank you. Also, I don't know, Athon, I moved to Thailand. Did you know that? I live in Thailand now.
Yes, I know.
So I think I'm more happy here.
Yeah. This I say. You are more beautiful from when you were from when you are in Thailand.
Yes, Australia did not agree with me, darling. It did not agree with me.
Why you don't come in Italy?
One day I want to come. I was in Italy before COVID, and we're thinking maybe we come this year. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Good. Because Tommy said that he probably will come.
Yeah,
Tom,
well,
where
I
are
hope
you
to see you this
going?
year.
Whenabouts?
I don't know yet, but I need to get over to Europe. I have some people want me to come and do workshops in England. And we have, my partner's half Italian, so we have things to do there. And of course, Athon is probably top of my list of things to do in Europe when I get there. So
Laura, we have to go. We'll all go. We'll have a party
we'll
together.
coordinate.
Absolutely. We have a Calcutta party.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
I just
Definitely.
wanted to say, Athon, thank you so much for coming on, darling. You were talking about your wisdom and your knowledge and your beauty and your artistry. They are such gifts to us, and we love talking to you so much, darling. Like it's
For
a
me also,
revelation every time.
beautiful being able to talk with all of you.
Yeah. Hey, Athon, if you don't mind, I thought maybe a little story about what David Farley was there. Can I
Yeah.
remember? Yeah, okay, because when I was there, I met through Athon a journalist from New York, a travel writer, David Farley, very well known, writing for New York Times, Playboy, all of these things back in the day. And he was there researching Jesus's foreskin, right? which
Yeah,
was a
my God.
relic. It was a relic. It was
Calcutta,
held
yes.
in Calcutta. And it's when the somewhere Reformation, I don't know the history, but when the Protestants sacked Rome and they stole things, a German soldier stole what they called a monstrance, right? The sacred thing from the altar that had Jesus's foreskin. And I told David, I said, look, I said, there was like these relics. I said, there were so many, there was enough pieces of Noah's Ark. I said, there's enough pieces of the cross to build Noah's Ark. I said, there was probably enough Jesus's foreskins to make a football, right? And he said, that's true. Historically, so the records, he said, this was the Pope's. This was the one that was officially sanctioned by the church. And it was held for many years there in Calcutta. And what was it, maybe around the year 2000, somebody started saying, why don't we do a DNA test? And then it disappeared. And it became this big story.
Yeah.
So this is what part of my story that Athon introduced me to David there in this whole story. Of
Yes, yes.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask Athon if that's okay, because most of you know that music and sound are my main connection to divinity. And when Athon sings the hieroglyphs, it is amazing. Like her voice seems to be coming from a different dimension, and I know it is. So would you please, Athon, give us a little sample of your voice when you do your chants?
Allora, before chanting in hieroglyph, I'll tell you what it means. It say, "Hi to you, king or queen. I to you, God of eternity. If you fly up, is the God of the eternity come up. If you come down, is this other God that come down. If you are incensed, the other gods are incensed. Then live, be prosperous, because life is rised up by your own body, so live." And so this is in bad translation in English. In Egyptian, it sounds like this. Ha 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 ton pu anacher tu hehu sesha enki sesha kemur kenenenki kenet neter shemsu adi enki adi twasem ki emon anti wasti uto zeah mekat ki hanti. This is how it sounded in Egyptian.
That's amazing, darling.
Thank you so much for that. That is
You're
great.
welcome.
It seems so natural to you, Athon. Like it's your, if as fluent as Italian for you.
Well, I know a lot of them by heart because they are so beautiful that is impossible not making that. I'll tell you this, that it means how to transform the poison in nectar for the energy of the spirit. Okay. Auni shezuki ui ar shezuki ui beshu anratu roha habeke mui ar bebentu sesha tu ui kazi ui tu taureti tabha hati abnu ruemu aua hati. This is to make the heart be alive again, using the same poison that wanted to kill you.
I love that.
It's
Oh,
very
that's-
archetypal.
Yeah.
Darling, one of the things about the hieroglyphs is that they say that there's only consonants and the vowels are missing, and only the priests had the vowels.
What?
That the hieroglyphs, only the priests knew how to say the words.
Yeah. And the king and the queen. The queen, you know, the thing was that the land was the property of the queen, because Isis, her hieroglyphics was the throne, the seat of power. And so to her belonged to the earth, to the land. And she was the one that was connected with the gods and was the higher priestess in the beginning. And the husband was the one that was marrying the queen become the king, but was for the material stuff, to keep the country over the right boundary, to do all the stuff, while the spiritual stuff, they were the duty of the queen. And in the end, they made the queen was the high priestess that was called the end of the god. Was the end of God. And so so what do you ask? See,
No, that's
yes,
exactly
so
right, darling. That's amazing.
they were one that was knowing how to read and write and write the hieroglyphic. The scriba, they were very powerful because they were the ones that were knowing how to read and write hieroglyphics. Wow. You see, my little Meg, always with me. I talk, I do anything. She's always here. Don't move. Can you hear her?
Yes,
Yes.
darling. We can hear her.
She's your companion.
Yeah.
She wants to be a movie star. One of our people was saying that Budge was not correct on his pronunciation of the hieroglyphs. He was a little bit off. Would you agree with that, Athon?
But you know, Budge was at least was 100 years ago, and he didn't. He just translated over the Book of the Dead, make this big work to make all the translation also in the way, for example, the agent, they made some little mistake in the things, but who knows, because also nobody, just Omseti was knowing how to read and and pronounce hieroglyphics.
Darling, is it worth reading Omseti books? Like if we wanted to get a genuine feel for ancient Egypt, would that be a good book to read as well, Omseti's books?
Yeah.
Well,
The life of Omseti is just something that uplifts just any person. Just she was so determined in getting in the place that where she was belonging to, and she dedicated all her life.
Right. Well, also, excuse me, it's true that a lot of the pronunciations and translations of the hieroglyphs came from Omseti, from her inside knowledge.
Yes.
And she would also tell archaeologists where to dig, that she could see where things were, because she knew, she remembered from the ancient past.
Yes. And when she died, she came to me in her flesh and things. I was in California. And she came to me and say, I'm come here just to say you hello because I am gone. She come in just like I see my birds here. She come to me.
That's amazing.
She was knowing how to do the things.
Yeah, I've never read any of her books, just articles. I knew about her. But...
There are 2 books of the life of homesick.
And darling, you had a past life also in Egypt, in Dendera, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
At least one.
Do you have a time frame when that might have been, darling? Like whereabouts in the period, or which period of ancient Egypt?
To who are you speaking? To me or to Tom?
To you, darling.
Well, I know. Beside Atlantis, I was just in the 2nd dynasty. And then later on also, around the 18th also, 18th dynasty.
Oh my gosh, darling, so you were in Atlantis as well.
Yeah. I learned there how to make their live statues.
Wow. So where was Atlantis, darling? Whereabouts is it, or was it?
My understanding was in the South Pole. Come si chiama? Antarctica.
There's a lot of interest about the South Pole, isn't there? Gosh.
And then there were several other places where there were in Egypt, where was the pyramid in America, the South America and North Europe, but the main city was there.
And Indonesia too. There's a whole Atlantis here, supposedly buried under the sunken under the Java Sea.
But there are so many cultures. Because we consider 10,000 years, but 350 years. So
30,000.
350,000 actually.
Yeah, yes.
350,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be very ancient.
Yeah. Now you see they are more quiet because I opened the door and I let them to go.
So, darling, was your physical body different when you were in Atlantis? Like, what was the difference between your body or your mind then to now?
My mind was the same, crazy like before, but my body was taller. I was having black hair, and I was having the face more long. In Egypt also I was taller. Now I shortened it up.
You were a boy or a girl in Atlantis, darling?
What?
Male or female?
Female.
And were you, I believe there were scientists and...
Once I was female, once I was male.
And were you scientist or priest or artist? What was your main job in Atlantis?
No, I don't tell you.
Sneaky.
Yeah, well, I think many people today were incarnated back then, but don't remember, but now trying to recover some of their soul awareness, which is why
I was also a painter in the middle century, but in the 17th century, Hollandaise, and I found my painting. I was always looking this, watching this painting, and so I went all over the museums in Europe till I don't found them.
I remember you showed me that when I was there.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yes.
Mm.
Amazing. Yeah. But I think, as I was saying,
that everything we are able to do in this lifetime, we have already learned before, because I was always I was 3 years old, I was making statues, and I was so nobody showed to me how to make these things.
Yes, that's what I love, darling, the idea of anamnesis, that we get to remember things from our past life. Like Chance, my husband, his guitar playing came from nowhere. And Thomas, you reading the Book of the Dead at 10 years old, that's an odd thing for a child to be reading.
Yeah.
right. I wanted to know. I wanted to know the way out. Somehow when I was young, I knew right away. I was just passing through. So we got, and so then I got into the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which actually resonated more with me, even though I didn't understand. And it was probably late 20s when it finally clicked in my mind how it actually worked. So, I was reading these things for, 15 years. I don't even know why. I was just attracted to it. All the Tibetan texts, and
Yeah.
I read a lot of the Egyptian. I had a whole collection of Budge's books, read through as much as I could, and other books. Delubas, I read Delubas, tried to understand as much as I could about the structure of the temple and the relationship to our bodies. And I think that's why people are reaching out. We're trying to remember these things, and that's why, there's shows like Vanese is doing here with the Magical Egypt and the Women of Wisdom, to actually, but people can reach out and remember.
Yeah.
That they have. And this is why one of the schools I liked was the Chan, the Chinese Zen, the origins, the sixth patriarch, Hui Neng, the school of rapid enlightenment. That it's our nature to be enlightened. We just get confused and lost in samsara. But so it does take work to build the light body. You can't get it eating meat and watching television. You do have to purify and do it, but it's readily available for everybody at any time. They can work towards
because
it.
we are light. We are light. We are photons.
And we can measure them, the biophotons.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the dark with multiple photoreceptor tubes, you can see the human. It's amazing. So we truly are light.
Athon, talk to me about water in Atlantis. Did water have more functions in Atlantis than it does that we know of in our time here?
Well, they were knowing the power of the water, like were knowing the power of the crystals, the power of everything. They were using the solar energy, the ether. They were using things that for us are fantascienza.
Yes,
Okay.
fantasies, yes.
Science fiction.
Science fiction.
Ekaterina is asking about star travelers. Do you know about star travelers and star travelers? Bella, can you translate that for me?
Yes, i viaggiatori delle stelle in Egitto, i viaggiatori delle stelle.
They were the netters, but they are the portals of what now the physical science they call wormholes, but they are dimensional doors that they are all over in the world and all over in the universe, and you can go in this like in a moment you are in another place. Doesn't mean the velocity of light is only earth level, third dimensional things. This is the velocity of light that is in the other, out of the earth and out of the ball of the solar system. There is in a moment we can be all over. There is not this division. I'm starting to be a little tired of talking English. I don't find any more the words.
That's okay. You can tell me in Italian if you want, and I can translate into
But
English.
also, darling, I think we've been on for more than 2 hours, and that's exhausting enough for anybody. So I think we should just say thank you to our lovely Athon for spending.
We are 2 hours and a half.
Yes, I know, darling. It's a very long time. So let us say with this, we want to say thank you, Athon. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you. Thank you to Tom. Thank you to Laura. Thank you also to your husband that is not here, but why didn't come?
He's sleeping, darling.
He's sleeping.
He's a late bloomer, that boy.
A late bloomer, a late sleeper, late in general. Yes.
Yeah. So Athon, Athon, in closing, now I just wanted to thank you so much, with great love and respect for your wisdom and friendship. I really appreciate the time you've given to everyone here.
You know that I think that you are the most intelligent and evoluted being that I know in this earth. And I love you.
Oh,
I love you beyond the words.
I'm humbled. I don't know how I got that reputation, but thank you.
It's because you open your mouth. That's why you have that reputation. Because all these words come out, our heads explode. But I will agree with you, Athon. He is absolutely an angel on earth. So is Laura. Laura is our angel on earth as well. We're so blessed to have her. So what a lovely group of people, I have to say. Thank you so much to everyone.
But it's a magic, this little machine we have, because we connected on this planet.
Yeah,
In the
all
street.
around the world. We have Australia, we have Bali, we have Italy, we have Thailand.
Yeah.
And America, people from America on here.
Yeah.
And as Athon was saying before, there is no separation.
Come
As Athon was saying before, there is no separation.
No separation.
No.
We must be like atom. Is in the place before time was even. Is the eternity. We are always there, always in the eternity. So we are playing, saying no, before, now, tomorrow, next life, past life. We are always the same.
Yes.
It's an illusion, isn't it? The time thing, just an illusion.
Yeah.
All right, my
Absolutely.
love. Well, it's very late there. So it's got what, 2 o'clock in the morning for Athon. So we
2:30.
are going 2:30,
Mm.
darling. It's time to go to bed, my love.
No, I usually go to bed around 3, 4 in the morning.
That is normal, yeah. But thank you to the birds as well, the crows and the
Yeah,
magpies.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
All right, my loves.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, thank you, Laura, for translating and just your
Thank you
energy,
for
and thank you,
everything.
Thomas, for doing Thomas things. I'm
Thanks
so
to
Thank you so much.
one.
Love you all.
I'd love to give you some little feathers that the bird just let me just now, but
Oh, that's great.
It's a gift.
it's a gift.
Yeah.
A fluffy
So much
feather.
love to you, darling.
Love to you all.
All right.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.
Ciao,
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 ciao.
ciao, ciao.